tonight.
More encampment concerns in Saskatoon, why many are reappearing after being torn down. A new deal for Saskatoon's downtown event district, why the city says it will be better for the future development. And a Saskatchewan mother's powerful message to youth.
This is CTV News with Chantel Saunders.
Good evening. We begin tonight with the growing issue of homeless encampments in Saskatoon. Data from the Saskatoon Fire Department shows they've been reported in every neighborhood in the city this year. CTV's Stacey Hine now on the city's response.
The Saskatoon Fire Department says crews recently cleared encampments across the city, including one near Avenue M South and 20th Street. But 2 days later, tents were back in the same spot. Shanna Hansen passes the area every day and believes people should be allowed to stay.
It feels more safer when they're all together.
But Fire Marshal Ryan Bradley says the encampments pose serious health and safety risks.
We know that encampments do generate a common place for illicit activity, anywhere from human trafficking to drugs to violence.
Data from the fire department shows encampments have been reported in every neighborhood in Saskatoon this year.
They are dealt with on a case-by-case basis, and really they're complaint-driven. We're not always going to know about them unless people tell us. We know that they are generally considered to be unsafe.
So far this year, more than 1,200 encampments have been reported. More than 350 have been cleared, up from just over 200 last year.
Overall, I think what we need to do is look to finding some solutions. The city is working hard with the provincial government to make sure that there are places for people to go, whether it's shelters, whether it's warming locations.
An acquisition of this property on Avenue C South for a new winter warming location is on City Council's agenda Wednesday. Stacey Hine, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Meanwhile, the Saskatchewan government is giving new powers to the Safer Communities and Neighbourhoods Unit to identify and address abandoned or nuisance properties. Effective November 1st, new changes will allow the unit to target properties deemed unfit for people to live in and negatively impact the health, safety, or economic well-being of the broader community near the property. The organization, known as SCAN, can then apply for either a court-ordered demolition or a forfeiture to seize the property prior to demolition. Graffiti and trafficking of stolen property are also being added to the list of issues SCAN can address as part of their duty to respond to complaints about buildings regularly involved in illegal activities. The NDP has accused the government of setting the stage for privatization of Saskatchewan. It leveled the accusation during the first question period of the fall sitting of the legislature. It comes as SaskPower reviews a plan for Saskatchewan's nuclear energy future. Wayne Mantika reports.
The NDP opposition is convinced that the government wants to privatize SaskPower.
This is actually sincerely something I'm quite concerned about.
It points to a SaskPower governance review of future nuclear power ownership.
On Monday, we saw the Sask Party roll out a report on SaskPower, and right there on page 7 is a commitment to review the ownership of power generation here in Saskatchewan.
The government says it could either be SaskPower or a private interest that builds a small modular reactor in the province.
We have natural gas plants today that are owned by SaskPower. We have natural gas plants where we just simply buy the power from. As largely the renewable sector is not owned by SaskPower.
The government is firm, though, about SaskPower not being privatized.
We are not selling SaskPower. We are not selling the major crown corporations at any time, nor have we ever discussed it. The NDP may have discussed it. We have not.
Nuclear power is still years away in Saskatchewan. The government believes it's premature to pick a direction at this point in the policy. Wayne Mantika, CTV News, Regina.
A deal in place for a private group to operate Saskatoon's future downtown arena has undergone some notable changes. Keenan Sorokhan walks us through the latest development for Saskatoon's downtown event and entertainment district.
The operator of Saskatoon's eventual downtown arena and convention center is finally here. More than a year after bringing a deal to council, city staff have a reworked agreement with Oakview Group.
The negotiation team didn't feel at any point that this was a bad deal for the city.
Last August, Oakview Group, or OVG, which runs hundreds of venues across the continent, was the chosen manager. But representatives never made it to Saskatoon, and the deal was eventually put on pause, with tariffs and economic struggles changing the terms. OVG is putting up $15 million up front, down from its $20 million commitment last year. The entire incentive structure is also changing, with OVG covering any losses if the buildings have some underperforming years.
The question before council will be, are we ready to take that step?
Last year's deal saw OVG getting a 10% cut of profits, rising up to 40% if annual profits were above $4 million. The new deal sees the city getting plenty more of the overall cut, with more incentive for OVG to turn a big profit.
We have a private partner that's got skin in the game, willing to take on the risk that's associated with this, which is huge.
The business community is liking what it's seeing.
That is a better deal for the city of Saskatoon based on what the new conditions are.
This deal runs for 15 years that can turn to 30 years, which the city estimates will bring in $65 million more than the old deal. Willems says he expects the new arena to bring in at least $6 million in profit each year, which is a modest projection.
So we should be achieving those higher bands and driving a large amount of revenue towards the city.
And unlike last time, Willems says representatives from Oakview Group will be in council chambers for Wednesday's meeting, when the mayor and councillors will be asked to vote on the deal. Keenan Sorakhan, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Jeff, it was another lovely day out there today. The sun was nice.
Absolutely lovely. Temperatures above seasonal, Chantel, and certainly not particularly windy. So, yeah, pretty darn pleasant. And it looks like these pleasant conditions are going to continue. We have a lot of wind and warm air off Canada's west coast. They're getting rain and snow in some respects, but once it gets scrubbed out, all that warm air is coming our way, and we'll be talking about some temperatures that are way above seasonal a little later on.
Turning now to a major development in the trial of a man accused of killing his girlfriend. A key Crown witness told court it is possible the gun may have been fired by the victim herself. CTV's Laura Woodward has that story.
Saskatchewan's chief forensic pathologist, Dr. Sean Latham, took the stand on the fourth day of Andrew Rosenfeld's second-degree murder trial. Rosenfeld is accused of killing his girlfriend, Nikera Brown, who was found dead on November 15, 2022, inside the apartment she shared with Rosenfeld on Avenue P South. Latham testified the bullet that killed Brown was fired very close, less than a centimeter from her head. Graphic photos of Brown's body on a metal table were shown in court as Latham walked the judge through his forensic analysis. He identified a black swollen circle below Brown's chin as the gunshot wound. During cross-examination, defense lawyer Chris Murphy used a measuring tape to demonstrate the length of the gun seized at the scene, about 40 centimeters long. Holding the tape measure under his chin, he asked whether the gun could have been fired by the victim. Quote, "So you're asking me, is it possible she did it? Certainly it is. That weapon is not long enough to preclude her arms from being able to hold it and pull the trigger. The wound that we have is classed as one that could be from a self-inflicted gunshot wound." Court heard a single bullet was recovered from Brown's brain, as well as 2 small caliber lead bullets found inside the pocket of her pants. The trial is expected to continue Friday. Laura Woodward, CTV News, Saskatoon.
A 37-year-old man is again facing charges in connection to a dramatic crash on the University Bridge that tied up traffic last week. On October 16th, during the morning rush hour, a black car slammed into oncoming traffic, creating major delays on the bridge. The driver was arrested but later released to hospital without facing charges. Under the Mental Health Services Act, this afternoon, police went to the hospital where the man is admitted and charged him with dangerous operation of a motor vehicle, failure to stop for police, impaired driving, refusal to provide a blood sample, possession of a controlled substance, and breach of probation. He remains in hospital under the Mental Health Services Act. Hundreds of students came together under one roof in Melfort today to hear inspiring stories as a way to support mental health. And as Jasmine Pelche reports, one of the speakers was a Saskatchewan mother who knows pain and heartache all too well, but also the importance of being brave.
Kyla Thompson shared her daughter Bella's story of bravery and resilience in front of hundreds of students.
Just 11 months after receiving her life-saving bowel transplant, the surgery that finally gave her freedom from the pain of her failing bowels, I lost my daughter. Now I've had to learn to be braver than I've ever been before. Brave enough to keep going, brave enough to keep sharing her story.
Thompson gave the presentation at the annual Youth Matter Canada Mental Health Symposium in Melfort, hoping Bella's story could help youth who are struggling.
Everyone has some really difficult stories, and I just hope to be someone, a family that understands, and if they can feel that connection and I can help them get through something really difficult in their life, that matters to me for sure.
The students age 11 and older heard from different speakers throughout the day, sharing stories of resilience. Students say the symposium has helped them learn about mental health.
I've learned different strategies to help with my own mental health. I've struggled due to bullying and such in my past in elementary school. But these symposiums and meeting other people and hearing their stories have taught me how to be brave.
There are many people that suffer from mental health issues that don't get proper treatment soon enough.
Laura Lawrence says she founded the symposium to inspire youth.
We just really hope that the youth feel a sense of community and connection, and that they're inspired to just take one action to help support their mental wellness and to always remember that they matter.
The symposium has been running since 2019, and this year, 15 schools were in attendance. Jasmine Pelche, CTV News, Melfort.
Saskatoon took to the airwaves today to battle breast cancer. C95's 26th annual radio marathon for breast cancer research returning for another year. Jeff and I joined Rob and Shauna to help read a few pledges from the countless generous people who opened their hearts and wallets to support the cause. The money raised stays in Saskatchewan, supporting the Cancer Foundation of Saskatchewan and local research to find better treatments and improve quality of life for those living with breast cancer. More than $6.9 million has been raised since the radio marathon began. This year, it brought in $470,764. Following a recent announcement about nuclear technology earlier this week, Saskatchewan Polytechnic is launching a new training centre for workers in the nuclear sector. The Western Canadian Nuclear Training Centre launched during a nuclear workforce training and supply chain event. The new centre is meant to deliver nuclear-specific training to grow the workforce for small modular reactors and other nuclear technologies. SaskPower President and CEO Larry Regina says of the workforce that's going to be required, there are skills for nuclear and nuclear skills.
Nuclear skills is about 10% of the workforce, but skills for nuclear is about 90% of the workforce, and that's where Saskatchewan Polytechnic comes in. That's our mandate, is to develop the skills that industry needs in this province to be successful. So when you look at nuclear, civil engineering technology, welders, electricians, instrumentation people, power engineering people, those are the skills that we teach now.
Regina says one course is being offered in December, and there's already a wait list for the second offering. A new hub at the University of Saskatchewan hopes to unite the efforts of entrepreneurs on campus. A gift from alumni Bernie Slagowski and Thedra Hunt. The new centre will support student ventures, faculty innovation, and community partnerships. It's also meant to strengthen the entrepreneurial ecosystem in the province by creating connections across Canada and around the world. The $5 million gift will help with programming and staff at the new centre, which will be located in the Edwards School of Business.
This centre represents access to innovation, to collaboration, and mentorship that turns ideas into action. It creates a space where students can take what we learn in the classroom and apply it in ways that make a lasting difference. As a student and cooperator of Robertson Valley Farm, I've seen firsthand how entrepreneurship blends with creativity and responsibility. Running a seasonal agriculture business with my partner has taught me that success isn't measured only by profit, but by purpose.
The university says programming at the center will help students, faculty, and researchers speed up their ideas from concept to impact. Well, it is official. The Foo Fighters headed to Regina to play at Mosaic Stadium next September. Regina will be one of 4 Canadian stops on the Foo Fighters Stadium Tour, with Queens of the Stone Age as the opening act for the concert. It will be the first concert in the stadium since Garth Brooks headlined 2 shows in 2019. Real says this show is part of its proactive approach to bringing more live entertainment to Mosaic Stadium and the Brandt Centre. General tickets go on sale on October 31st, and prices will range from $60 to $300. Still to come, how the Prime Minister wants to recharge the economy. Also, how Ottawa plans to crack down on violent and repeat offenders. Ottawa tabled a bill today that cracks down on violent and repeat offenders. It comes after word the man shot dead by police in Niagara Falls yesterday was out on bail for a crime committed 2 years ago against the same woman murdered this week. CTV's Heather Wright reports.
On Tuesday afternoon, shots rang out at this busy shopping plaza in Brampton, Ontario. A woman shot and killed, a child abducted. The man accused was awaiting trial for domestic violence charges involving the same woman, 29-year-old Savannah Kula. It's these types of repeat and violent crimes Ottawa is hoping to crack down on, with new measures announced today.
This is a package of sweeping reforms that includes more than 80 targeted measures that will make bail laws stricter and sentencing tougher.
The federal Liberal government has been accused of being soft on crime and for allowing a so-called revolving door justice system that's too lenient on violent offenders. The changes announced today are designed to make bail more difficult to get, creating a reverse onus that falls on the accused.
The accused must provide information that clearly demonstrates they do not pose a public safety risk.
The bill also introduces a new set of aggravating factors that will lead to stiffer penalties against violent and repeat offenders, as well as those who target first responders, organized retail theft, and crimes against public infrastructure. Victims' rights advocates, police unions, and some provinces have been demanding these types of changes amid a rise in violent and high-profile crimes. But not everyone is on side. The Canadian Civil Liberties Association says there is not enough evidence that shows bail causes crime, and they worry innocent people will be held in custody as a result.
We do worry that as we erode this charter right more and more and more, we'll get into a situation where just because you are accused of something, before you have your day in court, you're held behind bars.
Asked about whether this bill will require more space in jails, the Justice Minister said provinces asked for these changes and should be developing the capacity to manage more people going through detention facilities. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
We learned last night in Mark Carney's primetime speech that the Prime Minister wants to follow the American model to recharge the economy by importing less and exporting more. But this, he says, will mean sacrifices for Canadians. Michael Couture on what this tells us to expect in November's budget.
Why don't I not scoop the budget?
Prime Minister Mark Carney came close to revealing parts of the November budget, but he did expand a little on Wednesday night's speech, where he told university students transforming the Canadian economy would take some time and some sacrifices.
There's certain demands or desires to expand in different areas, and we won't be able to move as quickly as we otherwise would.
What will our legacy be in the future?
The founder of Generation Squeeze says the sacrifice that should be made is a change to the old age security program.
Can we ask those of us who are financially secure to maybe take smaller subsidies in retirement so that the savings can be repurposed to eliminate seniors' poverty and to help our kids and grandchildren?
That's a red line for the Bloc Québécois, who has been asking for a boost to old age security. Despite hearing themes of fiscal restraint from Carney, the Conservative leader isn't buying it.
It's always the bait and switch. You know, he said he would spend less. He's spending 8% more. His deficit is 100% more. than the one that the Liberal government had already put in place.
Carney did say dental care, health transfers, childcare, and the National Food Program won't be affected. The budget is being crafted as trade negotiations continue with the U.S., focused on the steel and aluminum industries.
The Americans are moving to an approach which is sector by sector as opposed to global.
Carney says if there isn't progress in those affected sectors, his government will ensure other countries don't have unfair access to our markets if we don't have access to theirs. Mike Lecouteur, CTV News, Ottawa.
Tailgating at Riders' home games is something to be addressed by the province during the fall session. Donovan Mace on why the team made the request and what it could mean for the fan experience.
Saskatchewan Roughriders CEO Craig Reynolds says there is only one reason driving the team's request to bring tailgates to Mosaic Stadium.
It's not about the revenue. It's about the experience and the environment. When there's a buzz and there's an atmosphere, you tend to sell more tickets. You tend to get people really, really excited.
Saskatchewan is one of only 2 CFL markets which don't allow some sort of tailgating. Reynolds first revealing to season ticket holders last month plans were in the works to permit tailgating for Rider home games, with hopes they would begin as soon as next season.
It's the number one suggestion we get around can we make tailgating a possibility.
I couldn't have been happier.
The move welcomed by the Regina Exhibition Association, which would be hosting festivities on its property.
That just creates a more vibrant community that really helps every aspect of the Real District as well as the Riders in terms of building that Rider fan base. I'm all over it, hugely supportive of it.
Still, there are hurdles the Riders and the government need to cross.
There's just a piece of legislation right now that limits alcohol consumption and alcohol purchasing, and so that piece of legislation just needs to change.
We would certainly look at that as we work our way through this, what essentially could be considered a pilot program as well, but it's simply because they asked.
Specifics on what the legislation may include are expected to be released as the government works through tabling its bill sometime during the fall session, which runs until early December. Donovan May, CTV News, Regina.
Hey Jeff, it's your friend comedian Tom Lusk with a nice reminder that I'll be headlining the Anna Vet's Comedy Night fundraiser this Saturday night, October 25th, 8 p.m. at the Army-Navy Club. That's 359 First Avenue North. Reserve your tickets, 306-652-3171. 25 reserved, 30 at the door, working with some great talent. So can hardly wait to see you there. So what's our weather looking like?
Well, Thomas, the weather is no laughing matter. It's looking pretty darn nice as we head towards Saturday. And, of course, it's a fundraiser for the Anna Vet's Club right here in the area close to CTV. Let's take a look at our numbers for Saturday. And as you can see, 18 degrees, way above seasonal. So the weather's not going to keep you away. Cloudy conditions that day. And once again, it's at the Anna Vet's Club here on First Avenue. Saturday, 8 o'clock is when the laughter starts. So check that out. And as Tom was saying, you can reserve your tickets by calling the Anna Vet's Club. 7 degrees right now in Saskatoon, 7 as well in the Battlefords, and 11 in Prince Albert. 7-Eleven, I get a free Slurpee. All right, not particularly windy in the Battlefords, a bit breezier in Saskatoon and Prince Albert. Saskatoon's almanac, well, here we go. 14 degrees today, so 5 degrees above seasonal, but 10 degrees below the record temperature. That was set in 1937. The record cold temperature on October the 23rd, minus 16 in 1917. The sun came up at 7:45, and it went down at 5:56.
Coming up, Jeff takes a check on your entertainment options, and later the cake creation sparking interest and orders from across the country.
The PBR Saskatoon Classic goes this weekend. Friday on Your Morning, we'll be on location with the details for the 2-night competition, bringing together some of Canada's best riders.
They'll be looking for 8 when they pull that gate. All right. We got ourselves a slash of color along the horizon. Still a pretty big, a big blue sky, so we still have a hint of ambient light. But we can tell you that it was a wonderful day in terms of temperatures. If by wonderful, we mean warmer than seasonal. And it's going to be staying that way. But let's take a look at our satellite and radar shot here. And as you can see, it's interesting. We have the westernmost points in Canada and the easternmost points in Canada that are going to be dealing with a lot of rain this weekend. Now, here in the west, the rain and the wind and the warm temperatures are really going to benefit the prairie provinces because the inclement weather is going to stay on the western side of the Rockies, and then we get the warm air to warm things up. 7 degrees right now in Saskatoon and the Battlefords, 11 in Prince Albert, and then on to our hot spot. Well, yesterday it was the cold spot, today the hot spot. That's Val-Marie at 18 degrees today. South End was the cold spot at -7. Around the province we go. Right now it is 5 degrees in Lloydminster, a couple of places not reporting, 9 degrees in Yorkton and 10 in Regina and Estevan. In central parts of the province, temperatures ranging from 5 degrees in Hudson Bay up to 11 in Kindersley. A lot of locations in and around that 7 or 8 degree mark. It's 10 in Wynyard right now. Up north, some pretty pleasant temperatures there. 6 degrees in Stony Rapids, 10 in Buffalo Narrows, 7 in La Ronge, 5 in Key Lake, and not too bad in South End and Sandy Bay Island Falls. It is up north, by the way. We've got ourselves temperatures in the double digits in many locations in southern Saskatchewan. As you can see, the coldest spot happens to be Broadview. That's 8 degrees, still not too bad. And then a few places are at 12 degrees right now. On to our futurecast. Well, as you can see, all those colors out in British Columbia, dealing with rain, snow mix, and those tight pressure lines, so lots of wind. But then the wind sort of abates a bit, but the warm temperatures come our way, and things are going to be quite warm as we roll into the weekend. Just wanted to point out the rainfall and wind warnings that are in effect for British Columbia. And as I say, we are going to reap the benefits of all that warm wind coming across the Rockies. So we've got ourselves cloudy or mainly cloudy conditions for northern Saskatchewan, double-digit temperatures in La Ronge and Buffalo Narrows, a little cooler in Stony Rapids and Key Lake. Temperatures of 14 in Meadow Lake, 13 in Spiritwood, 18 in Kindersley, Rosetown in at 17 tomorrow. Into the 20s for Maple Creek and Leader, albeit the low 20s, but 17 for Outlook, 18 for Swift Current. Temperatures of 16 or 17 for Regina, Moose Jaw, Estevan. A little cooler, but still above seasonal at 12 degrees for Yorkton. Mainly sunny skies in the southeast, but mainly cloudy skies in the east central part of the province. Temperatures basically around 11 or 12 degrees. Now making our way to the Battlefords for a detailed look. 0 degrees overnight, 15 tomorrow with winds out of the southwest at 20, 16 on Saturday. Sunday still double-digit temperatures, but it comes with a chance of showers. 7 to start the work week, but warming up to 11 midweek. For Prince Albert and area, clear skies tonight, -3 degrees, 12 degrees tomorrow, light winds on Friday, 18 on Saturday, Sunday, a chance of showers and 11 degrees, 8 to start the work week, 9 on Tuesday, Wednesday, 12 degrees. And finally for Saskatoon, we've got ourselves -3 degrees, the winds backing off tonight under clear skies. And then tomorrow, mainly cloudy conditions, but 16 degrees, so once again, well above seasonal numbers. And then 17 on Saturday, Sunday, a 40% chance of showers and 12 degrees, 8 on Monday, 9 on Tuesday, Wednesday, 13 degrees and staying in the double digits on Thursday.
Wouldn't have left you over the night. Wouldn't have done that to you.
What happened to you? How did you manage to be here? How did you get out?
Just in time for Halloween, The Woman in Black is the current offering from Persephone Theatre. Directed by Joshua Beaudry, this gothic horror tale starring Matthew Burgess and Jonathan Pickrell runs until November 2nd at the Ramey Arts Centre.
The superstars of superstars is ready to ride. Come on, Saskatchewan!
Professional bull riding returns to Sasktel Centre for the PBR Saskatoon Classic. That's Friday and Saturday. The action gets underway at 7 each night. Ghost Watch is a phony documentary produced by the BBC in 1992 featuring actual BBC presenters. It fooled a lot of viewers and was reportedly banned from UK airwaves for a decade. It's paired with the Blair Witch Project Friday night as part of the Broadway Theatre's Art of Terror film series. The Night Train, one of Canada's finest Guns N' Roses tribute bands, is getting a head start on Halloween fun. They'll be blowing the lid off the Capitol Music Club on Saturday night. Christopher Slightholm and the Beautiful Band are live on stage Friday night at Amigos. Also on the bill, the Sea Hags. Peadora is an award-winning chamber music ensemble with repertoire rooted in tango and folk music of Argentina and Uruguay. That's Wednesday at the Basement.
I'm living in Rosetown, living in Rosetown now.
And so do some of Chantel's relatives. But I digress. Wednesday evening, the Capitol Music Club welcomes Ron Sexsmith. This acclaimed singer-songwriter's new album is Hangover Terrace.
I think Rosetown has a new theme song.
I think they're going to start playing that at hockey games. Yeah.
Quite a catchy tune, that's for sure.
It is.
All right, I heard you were out learning the fine art of quilting today.
And fine art is what it is. This is Weir Fishing, and it's the best in show from 2024 from the CQA National Championship, and the artist that put this quilt together is with us today, Deborah Barlow. So first of all, congratulations on the National Championship.
Thank you very much.
Now, you have been doing quilting for a long time, but you're not just working in one sort of style. You've done them all.
I have. I started out as a traditional quilter, and then I learned that there are art quilts out there, and that would be a challenge to do. And what better way to do another medium and make an art quilt?
Now, you're the featured quilter here. What's that like to be the featured quilter at this extravaganza?
It's a huge honor to be a featured quilter for this very talented guild. Mm-hmm. This is a wonderful guild. Mm-hmm. Diversity of work and talent, and this is probably the best guild show in Canada. It would be the best guild show in Canada.
And I've always been amazed coming to this event because it is huge. There are tons and tons and tons of quilts to see.
Exactly. There's something for everybody. There are from baby quilts to modern, traditional art quilts. There's everything, as well as you're able to purchase a lot of these things.
Really?
Yes. Okay. For the first time, they're going to have quilts for sale, as well as a guild boutique, which the people have been working for over a year to put stuff in that boutique for sale.
All right. Well, we certainly want to encourage people to come out here to Prairieland Park, Hall E. What are the times for quilt extravaganza, Deborah?
Well, you'll want to come on Friday between 10 and 6:30, and on Saturday from 10 till 5 o'clock.
All right. Well, thank you so much for speaking with us for a little bit, and congratulations, and thank you for sharing your artistry with us.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure.
All right, Jeff, time for Pick of the Day. What do you have?
Well, let's take a look at these three photographs for today. These images were sent in by our viewers. This one from Jean Paulus, and she sent this in on Tuesday, and she says, just look, I just took these, Jeff, outside my window. Wow. And 10 minutes later, it's all gone. Yes, the fleeting beauty of nature. Yes, but lovely shot there, Gene, so thanks for sharing that. This one comes to us from Bob, and he says, hi, Jeff, took this pic Tuesday night at our cottage at Memorial Lake. Now, this Tuesday happened to be October the 8th, but I wanted to show it, and I don't think we can see it here, but it's, yeah, you can sort of see it. There's the Big Dipper is in this shot, and it was the Northern Lights reflection on the lake and the Big Dipper in the sky. So, yeah, it was quite a lovely shot there, so I wanted to make sure we used that before it got too frosty out there. Another sort of watery shot here. This one comes to us from Beverly. The train bridge in Prince Albert this morning, and that morning was about a week ago. I know it takes me a while to get to some of these photographs because we get so many submissions, but some lovely shots there. And if you'd like to share an image with us, you can send it to cfqcnews@ctv.ca.
Still to come on CTV News, a Saskatchewan man shares his sweet treats, how his cake creations are going the distance.
Your morning just got a little brighter. Start your day with CTV Your Morning, and you could win $20,000. For your chance to win, watch CTV Your Morning Saskatchewan, weekday mornings 6 to 9.
A Saskatchewan baker has been making a unique blend of fruitcake, which is now creating demand across the country. Mick Favel on the demand for his deliveries.
Jim Hadfield is in Regina delivering some of his homemade fruitcakes, which are getting rave reviews across the country. He has been selling baked goods for 6 years out of his home in Milestone. What started out as a simple hobby has grown into a giant production.
I made 724 fruitcakes, a 20% increase over last year. And they go out all over Canada, all over Regina.
Because of the number of orders, Hadfield reaches out to customers in April, mapping out the Christmas cake order for the year. He begins baking in June, finishing in September.
It takes 3.5 hours to bake the cakes, and I can do 20 a day. I have 2 ovens, 5 in each oven, 3.5 hours, and while those are baking, I mix up the next. I start baking about 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, and then I continue on with the process every day.
This year, Hadfield is sending fruitcake to Vancouver Island, the Northwest Territories, and Newfoundland. He says there is no big secret to the 2 cake flavors impressing tasters.
One of them is my mother's recipe with changes, and the other one is sort of a recipe that I found, but I changed it. And with all my recipes for all my baking, I make them according to the way I think this should be.
Christmas cake orders for next year will begin April 2026. Hadfield plans to do the same amount again, but not much more due to time constraints.
I still need time to get everything ready to go, so that'll be it. And that's, you know, I can only do 20 a day, so that's the way it's going to have to be. I think I'll have to cut it off at slightly over 700.
Quality over quantity, just another reason customers feel Hadfield's baking is the cherry on the cake for the holiday season. Mick Favel, CTV News, Regina.
When we come back, an historic takedown linked to NBA notables. And later, the timely tricks one elephant is showing off.
Welcome back, and now we'll take a look at our rural forecast for tomorrow and things tomorrow. We love you tomorrow because temperatures are looking great. 14 degrees in Meadow Lake, 13 in Spiritwood, 16 in Lloydminster, 18 in Kindersley, 17 in Outlook, and into the double digits even as we fly towards, drive towards. I was walking, though, towards Hudson Bay, 10 degrees, 14 in Wynyard. Let's go down south, and bam, 21 degrees in Maple Creek, 20 in Leader. And even as we make our way towards the eastern side of the province, temperatures are staying warm. Look at that, 14 degrees under sunny skies in Carlisle, 16 in Broadview, 11 in Kenora. Some very nice temperatures there. And does that fit Duck Lake as well? The answer is yes, 13 degrees tomorrow for Duck Lake. Winds out of the east 10, switching around a little bit, but not a strong wind, a southerly wind. So things are looking very good for Duck Lake. And Duck Lake is where internet plans of up to 1 gig are available from SaskTel.
It's being called an historic takedown, allegedly involving mafia families and both former and current NBA players and a coach. U.S. authorities accusing more than 30 people of being involved in 2 separate schemes, including sports betting and rigged poker games. With the latest, here is John Venavelli Rao.
The stunning charges coming just days after a brand new NBA season tipped off, with these current and former players, including a Hall of Famer, among those accused, following investigations involving sports betting and rigged poker games linked to the mafia.
We're talking about tens of millions of dollars in fraud and theft and robbery.
U.S. authorities laying out 2 separate schemes, the first involving Miami Heat guard Terry Rozier, who was arrested along with former NBA player Damon Jones. Investigators say they provided information about games to co-defendants who used it to place illegal bets.
The non-public information included when specific players would be sitting out future games or when they would pull themselves out early for purported injuries or illnesses.
You got to keep fighting. Authorities say one example took place when Rozier was playing for the Charlotte Hornets in 2023. They say he let others secretly know he planned to leave a game early with a supposed injury.
Rozier exited the game after just 9 minutes, and those bets paid out, generating tens of thousands of dollars in profit.
For more than a year, authorities in New York have been looking into illegal gambling after Toronto Raptors player Jonte Porter was caught disclosing information to bettors. The NBA banned him for life. Authorities say the second indictment involves Jones and the head coach of the Portland Trail Blazers, Chauncey Billups, who allegedly took part in illegal poker games rigged by the mafia using high-tech cheating devices, including X-ray tables that could read cards.
Victims were attracted to play alongside well-known professional athletes and coaches like Chauncey Billups, only to be unknowingly deceived through rigged shuffling machines.
The NBA says Billups and Rozier are being put on immediate leave and that it'll continue to cooperate with authorities. John Venevalley-Rao, CTV News, Toronto.
It's earnings season. Morella Fernandez has the latest numbers from Ford, which was affected by a fire at one of its key suppliers.
Ford reported a profit of $2.4 billion U.S. for its third quarter. That's double what it made in the same quarter last year. The company is seeing strong sales of trucks and SUVs, but a fire at a key aluminum supplier could cost Ford as much as $2 billion. They rely on the metal to build pickup trucks. Ford is revising its earnings outlook. As a result, it's now forecast to be $6 to $6.5 billion, and that's $1 billion less than it was. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is up a fraction to 71.49. West Texas Intermediate crude shot up over $3 to 61.79. Western Canadian Select also gained over $1, moving to 46.10. And the TSX gained 203 points today, moving back up over that 30,000 mark. Those are your business headlines. I'm Morella Fernandez.
Turning to local gas prices now, the average price in Saskatoon is currently just over $1.32 a litre. The lowest price in town is $1.099. On Saskatchewan markets, Cameco jumped $3.81, and Nutrien finished the day at $80.87. Coming up, the pachyderm that can do tricks with pumpkins. Then the musical experience, wowing crowds.
Select Hair Service is brought to you by Sage, the beauty bar.
Stay with us. We've got another full night of great shows for you right here tonight on CTV.
Oh my goodness, on 911 Nashville, it's a steel guitar tornado.
Can't wait.
That's the show tonight.
Yeah, it's coming up in a little bit, but before that, we have some fun stories to tell you. An elephant calf at the Oregon Zoo is showing off some Halloween tricks.
Squash yet. Oh.
This is Tulatu, and Tulatu has turned a small pumpkin into a toy. It all started with an annual fall event where they give the elephants pumpkins to crush. However, she didn't crush hers and is instead kicking it around like a ball. It looks really small in comparison to her, but I feel like that's a big pumpkin.
Probably a decent-sized pumpkin, that's for sure.
But it looks like, you know, she's having fun.
Exactly, fun. That's what animals like, especially young animals, they like to have fun.
Exactly. A good snack there too, I think.
I hope so.
Yeah. All right. Well, one of Taiwan's most well-known wartime attractions is echoing with beautiful music. The Kinmen Tunnel Music Festival sold out in 2 minutes. The tunnel was built during the height of the Cold War to shelter supply boats from artillery shells from China. 6 shows like this took place, giving audiences a chance to hear cellos and violins in a very unique venue. Performers sat on a small boat being gently paddled around the tunnel, playing a selection of music, which included Mozart and Beethoven.
That is really quite impressive.
Yeah.
And
nice experience.
Yeah, no kidding. And I would think the obviously the ambiance is, the echoes of the chamber itself would make a big difference. But wow, what a place to have a concert.
Yeah, very cool.
There's always room for cello.
Yes, there's always room for cello.
Yeah, I'm really proud.
Were you thinking about that all afternoon?
Yeah, I was thinking of it all afternoon. That's right. It's my big pitch. Yeah, my big wind-up. We've got ourselves some big temperatures as we roll into tomorrow. And as we take a look right now, just 1 degree in the morning. So, yeah, a bit chilly to start the day or even before that. I know a lot of people are up and at it before 9 a.m. But by noon, it's 7 degrees. The wind does not pick up and doesn't really change all that much. Mid-afternoon, around 16 degrees and 14 by 5 o'clock, so things are looking really quite pleasant for a Friday.
Absolutely. Looking forward to that and Saturday.
Exactly.
We'll see about Sunday.
Exactly. All right, time for cello.
Thanks for watching.
Bye-bye.